Jesus explains a time of preparation, spiritual warfare, revival, my birth, and true worship. September 29th, 2015. Words from Jesus through Sister Clare, spoken by Jackie. Jesus began, "Trouble is coming to America. You know it's been a long time coming, but it hasn't been cancelled, only delayed." At the point that he said that, I saw a vision of a long freight train moving very slowly but steadily. It's been coming and is still at the threshold, not quite to begin yet. I want all of you to be prepared by being steadfast in me. Do you understand? Very clever demons have been assigned to this channel to bring you all down, but I will continue to vindicate you, Clare. You needn't bother with defending me. I can take care of the both of us. But I have trained all of you in the sly deceits of the wicked ones, and it wouldn't hurt you, my brides, to go over the discernment messages and teachings again. All of them bring up a different aspect of spiritual warfare. Strife, division, and backbiting are the main assignments. So be particularly vigilant over all your motives, knowing that if you sow strife in your homes, you will reap strife, and strife will weaken you. In a weakened state, your discernment and faith begin to fail you. Much better to let others be right, my brides, than to enter into dissension and be weakened in your faith. Pride will be another defensive posture the enemy will try to engender. Again, let others be right and move on, especially in the home and workplace where you must deal with them every day. Be a no-fight person. Let me tell you a secret. If they can't get a rise out of you, they'll find someone else to pick on. So no fight is also a very peaceful little island to dwell on. But before they are convinced you are a no-fight and no-fun person, they will test you to the max. Your worth, my bride, is not in what people say about you, but in my body and blood shed on Calvary, that I might have you with me in heaven forever. Recognize these attacks are from the enemy, and let them bounce right off of you. If you must, retire to the restroom and seek me, that I might strengthen you with my grace. Overcommitment is another very powerful demon linked to selfish ambition. Ambition is a driving force that seeks to wear you out so your discernment and faith will waver. These are matters of the heart and soul that you must protect under the breastplate of righteousness. As usual, every year demons of avarice and ambition are released into the Christian world as promoters of business in order that you may be totally worn out through the winter month. The demons are not above using false guilt and sentimentality to motivate you. Resist this with all your might. I'm not pleased at all with the materialism during that season. It is abhorrent to me. Whether it be pressure from relatives or your own inner avarice, don't give in to it. Make these coming seasons a time of holiness and greater depth in me. There is nothing wrong with celebrating and commemorating my birth. I would ask those of you who feel differently not to force your self-righteous attitude onto others. There are many ways I communicate to little children during that season, but it should be celebrated in spirit and truth and heart. never in materialism. Yes, it was a pagan holiday, but the church in her wisdom assigned a feast day there to replace the evil holidays they were celebrating before they became Christians. This has become a time of celebrating the mystery of my incarnation, my humility and lowliness, all the miracles attested to during that time. It is a time of wonder and grace, when many, many graces from heaven are dispensed to the faithful. A little token of love is much better than a full-blown, materialistic indulgence. And as the days approach, children should be taught that the greatest gift you can give to me is yourself. Reading stories of the heroes of the faith and how they gave themselves to me is a beautiful way to drive home the true meaning of this season. Having a little manger scene is something the little ones will never ever forget, and makes this season so different from all the others. These are matters of the heart and soul that you must protect under the breastplate of righteousness. The breastplate of righteousness protects your internal organs, your heart, your soul, your energy sources. As your conscience resides right in the center of your solar plexus, just below the heart, these are to be guarded with great care. How does one put on righteousness? Obedience to my known will. Deliberately transgress my known will, and immediately there is a hole in your armor, which condemnation may enter through. You know you did what was not pleasing to me, and now your heart moves from loving me to fearing me. And the demons take full advantage of the opening to find myriads of ways to make you feel condemned. But you can fight them off easily if you have obeyed me, and you know you are standing in my will. What a beautiful defense this is! Nothing can touch a soul in my will through the breastplate of righteousness, when you are living a life of daily obedience. To the degree that you are obedient to my will and my wishes, to that degree will your breastplate be ironclad tight and impenetrable. I want you to stand in these times when many are going to fall, because they have not been prepared to fight the good fight. They do not know the value of suffering. They do not experience the times of profound refreshment in worship with me, and those two things have made them highly vulnerable. Most are trained to believe that when everything is going right in their lives, they are indeed in my will and my blessing. But more often than not, that is a perilous time for them. Satan no longer sees them as a threat, so he leaves them alone and disarmed. When a soldier in Christ begins to stand up boldly and live for me, he or she becomes an instant target. My brides, your resolve to do what is right to please me will draw opposition and trouble. That is why it is of utmost importance that you know how to protect and replenish yourself in me. Many are the troubles of the righteous, but I will deliver you from them all. That's Psalm 34:19. Because so many are taught that prosperity equals righteousness doctrine, they are even more vulnerable when the world and all it has to offer suddenly fails them. They do not measure the value of their lives in terms of my blood, but rather in terms of net worth in the world. This is why so many committed suicide during the Great Depression. Their self-worth has based totally on their worldly worth. So now we have a homelessness coming to those who live in nice houses, have boats, cars, nice things, and are in debt up to their eyebrows. When all these status symbols are taken away from them, they will not know which way to turn, and they won't know who they are. It will be at this time that you are to be a beacon of light, shedding that light on the true worth of their souls. That is my passion. You will be standing fast, and they will want to know what anchors you. They will listen because they are desperate, and you seem to be offering them an answer that cannot be corrupted by the world. Well, Lord, when they lose all these things and can no longer work long hours to maintain them, they will have more time for you, right? That's part of it. Simply by force of habit, time will be broken open to them to spend in other ways than making money and shopping. This is where, hopefully, I can enter and offer them salvation and a life full of meaning rather than a life full of emptiness. This is my mercy in action, Clare. I want my bride's full attention on me, and this stripping away is going to bring many back to me. It is, in a manner of speaking, a low-key family-by-family revival. It is already happening around the world. Because time is so short, my spirit is moving on the waters of mankind and bringing many up from death to be born again in me. And you were faithful to speak my word to you, that there will be no mass revival until after the rapture. But right before your very eyes, tiny pockets of people are being converted and added to the kingdom daily. And that is the revival many were expecting before the rapture, but haven't as yet recognized they are in the midst of it. It is happening everywhere, all over the world. Those who believe in my mercy and have been looking for something more evident and high profile are missing it and still waiting. But what they are expecting will come the day you are raptured. This unprecedented day in history will shake many out of their stubborn slumbers and into the reality that I'm real. Then revival will be evident all over the globe. You see, my mercy is working in ways not anticipated by man or the enemy. So, what I'm saying is, this will be the time to shine, my bride. When none of them can any longer make sense of their lives, you will be their beacon of salvation. But before this can happen, you must be firmly established in me. Stay away from the secular media, which is thoroughly saturated with the enemy's agenda. Stay away, stay away, stay away. Your thinking must be controlled by my spirit, not the world, which is totally in servitude to Satan. Because you are independent in your thinking, you will act and react in the spirit and will be able to shepherd those around you. Even the youngest among you will be able to lead their elders, whose minds have been corrupted and they are asleep. Your time in worship, listening to worship music, praising me through the sunsets and the crickets and the snowflakes. Worship and praise will elevate your minds even higher beyond the death that is everywhere in this world. Worship is simply recognizing who I am and thanking me for my care and benefits. You can do that anywhere, anytime, and I will respond by drawing you up into myself. The music is very helpful when it is anointed to worship me, but you don't have to have music to worship. You don't have to open your mouth. Many times that will be inappropriate. Worship in spirit and in truth, magnifying me in your heart and mind. That indeed is worshiping in spirit and in truth. Sometimes opening your mouth makes you self-conscious and takes away from our deep communion. Worship as you are led, not as you think others say you should worship. You are not impressing anyone here. We are alone together in the sanctuary of your heart. No one is expecting a performance. I just want your gratitude and worship. So these are things for you to consider, my doves. These are times of preparedness and dwelling in me, living through me. You are dwelling in the vine, growing in strength and glory. And it is our joint effort that will yield the fruit, as long as you stay intimately connected to the vine. I love you all dearly, and the grace to persevere in all of these things I've asked of you is being imparted to you.